Hey everyone, how's it going? I think it's time. I don't even know when this list is dropping, right? But I'm here to give my thoughts on possible ban lists because while I'm just an uneducated content creator who makes really like niche meme and deck profiles, I just want to put my thoughts out there because sometimes people ask. I don't think anyone did for this time. But before we get into it, make sure to check out the links in the description. If you want to support me, I've got an affiliate link for Nengard, and you can use my code StrawHatPecan on top of their sales they're running right now. And yeah, just check that out. Also, shout out to Cardi Kaizuku for the both the deck builder, like the website. He's like a very technical person, very nice. One of the people that I watched before I started making content. And shout out him for this tier list, right? So, just a little bit about me. I am very much a nerd about like tournaments and like keeping up with like that stuff. However, for set 11, and like right now, just because of my own personal life, I haven't really caught up too much. I have been seeing a lot of like the tops and like the general consensus on some cards. However, I haven't watched anyone else's takes on this yet. I haven't really like been watching a lot of the live streams of tournaments. However, like I said, I have been looking at like winners and stuff like that. So, right, we know a lot of the meta decks and stuff people have been complaining about. Things that people want banned, right? I think we'll just get out of the way the Luffy leader. There's so many Luffy cards that make sense, right? But I just think out of possibilities to just get hit, this Luffy could be a problem, right? And I'm just talking about not only how strong he is now, how many top placements he has now, even without like direct support in set 12, or I don't even like that crazy stuff, right? Like he is still, even though I think there is some support in set 12, right? He's still at the top, still a top deck. The leader ability is just so strong. Essentially, if you're a little bit newer to the game, right, he can, after you get to 8 Dawn, start drawing a second card per turn. He's a 6k leader, and a lot of the cards he combos with, we'll talk about. This Linlin, I think, can be a possibility. There is not like any difference in terms of like the placing of like, I want this band more than this, but I'm thinking for how this deck works and how it can stack the top 5, allowing you to, this was like my initial thoughts with seeing this leader and everybody's, right? You know what you're healing to your life with Linlin, which for a purple blue deck to be able to heal and stack their life like that, like knowingly what you're putting into your life, like that is just, for only a 1 Dawn and a trash a card, when you're drawing 2 cards to turn anyway, this is not a downside. So if either of these get hit, I'd like, obviously they're independent of each other. If the Luffy leader just gets banned outright, obviously I don't think they need to touch this card. And it is a little bit frustrating for like purple decks to be able to heal with how strong they've been, but green purple Luffy's not running this at all. Purple Luffy has been like not crazy. Other purple decks like purple Katakuri, Pudding, they're not running the meta that actually properly use this card, right? And like search it up. So if they don't ban the Luffy leader, and I don't think this is controversial, I don't think that I'm original for these thoughts, right? If they don't ban Luffy, I think they might hit Linlin. And I want to talk about this now because I think some people who may be newer to the game might think about this. Like, we know for reprint wise for Premium Booster 2, Linlin I don't think was reprinted at all. That does not mean one way or the other that this card is going to get banned or not banned, right? In Premium Booster 1, there were cards that were reprinted given alt arts that got banned, and ones that weren't there that didn't get banned, obviously, right? Gecko Moria, Ice Age. I don't think people are saying for this card to get banned, but like the 5-cost Sabo blocker wasn't reprinted, but it didn't get banned, you know? So that isn't necessarily a one way or the other. However, in conjunction with this leader, this card is just way too strong. I think Being a 3 life leader, that's supposed to be your downside to this, but this allows you to be a 4 life leader, a 5 life leader, right? While removing a piece, while stacking your life with something. I personally have played against in videos and such where, you know, you'll see it, the player stacked a removal event or something, right? So not only did they remove a card with the Big Mom, they hit like a Red Rock or like a Grab Blade out of life because they put it there. And it's just not really, I don't know. It's very strong. So I would say for just like an outright ban, and also I think we should say how many cards we think is going to be on the ban list. I think we could, I don't know, are we going to see anything come off of the ban list? Possibly. I don't think so. I don't think we'll see anything come off of the ban list necessarily. You could surprise me, right? Like maybe Ice Age gets taken off. Probably not. Maybe Raigo. I don't think so. I will say I don't think the worry or the focus is on taking stuff off the ban list right now. So I think we're probably going to see 3 cards on the ban list. Because if they hit like 1 or 2 pieces or like limit some stuff, then I think we're all right. You know, I think we're going to see like a 3-card ban list. I don't think there's so much variance in the meta. Because right now we're talking about like blue Purple Luffy, green Purple Luffy, Bello Betty is very high up in the meta, but that's specifically because this guy's here. If you hit this guy, then I don't think Bello Betty is as popular, in my opinion, right? Now, we do see down the line, set 13, there's a lot of Rebel Army stuff coming out. I don't know if that's going to mean that they preemptively ban something, because that's what they did with Raigo or Kingdom Come, right? They hit this card. I don't know, or I guess it's Kingdom Come. Yeah, they hit this this card because of what Enel possibly could have been. I guess my webcam is in a horrible spot. I put myself here. Woo. I put myself there so I wouldn't be in the way of things. That's why it's webcam. But I guess it's once it's on there. Okay, so back over in the corner I go. They hit this card because of what Enel could be. So if they hit anything in like Bello Betty, I don't think it's going to be Karasu. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. It could be like one of the like ways to cheat out bodies, like one of the Ivankovs. But also they're all like they're all kind of, I don't know. Like they all have a downside. I didn't mean to like get into Bello Betty too much, but the deck could see like a preemptive hit. So like I'm not saying that it won't happen 100%, but like I would be very surprised of it. So like I don't know, Karasu, just like to have something from Bello Betty like mentioned, because she is having a lot of showings, right? I don't think Karasu or anything from Bello will be hit, but it could be hit, right? And I don't know if people are probably going to just skip to the end when I have everything showed, but I don't, who cares about my opinion that much anyway. Regardless, this is very much just my personal thoughts, right? But yeah, we have to talk about our giant, our Gum Giant. And I don't think, here you are. So, strongest counter event in the game has been since it's come out, right? A 1-done counter event, Dawn -2, trash a card, you go up plus 4,000. Hey, it's leader locked, right? It's just the fact that Purple Straw Hat has been some of these stronger leaders since, right? This has been kind of crazy. And again, this card is getting a like manga reprint event style in Premium Booster 2. That does not mean it won't get hit. However, I would say it's probably just going to get limited. If it does at all. It's either getting limited or not banned. Can I put them in both? I can do whatever I want. I'd say if they hit either of these, it probably won't get banned. But I could either see either going either way, right? I would probably say, and again, it's like independent of each other, right? If Luffy gets banned, I don't think they need to like limit this. I don't know. Green Purple Luffy is still a very strong deck. However, you know, this is what everyone's kind of like focused on, right? And we've seen events like Rad Beam get limited to 1. I think some people talk about limiting it to 2 copies. I don't really think I've seen Bandai like limit to I don't think they'll limit something to 2 copies. They probably just limit it to 1 because that's what cards have been like in previous. So I'm just going off of past ban lists and restriction lists for predictions of the future, right? I don't foresee them limiting it to 2 copies. I think, yeah, the main problem with this card stems from the fact that you like just do it every turn, right? You get to 10 Don and then this isn't a problem. The only time this card becomes a problem for a blue purple Luffy player is if they somehow don't have an 8 cost Katakuri on the board, which they probably would if they were going to be doing this, right? And then they Linlin, so that Don minus is 1. So if you're at 10 Don, you go back to 9 on your turn. And then on your opponent's turn, if you use this, that'll put you back to 7. So you won't go back up to 10, and you'll start your turn at 7 Don, so you won't be able to use your lead ability. That's the only time. But, and I guess another card we can bring up, but I don't know if it'll get banned. 8 cost Katakuri. This, I don't think it's going to get banned. However, I feel like it's silly that it's a blocker that restands itself and it's not leader locked. Like it feels leader locked because it only restands Big Mom Pirates type characters, but it restands itself. So like that's all you needed to do. Even if you don't run any other Big Mom Pirates cards, this in conjunction with this and this means that you'll never run into that problem. You'll never go down 3 Don in a turn because this always ramps you back 1 up at the end of your turn. So you'll be able to use your lead ability the following turn and still like be able to Gum Gum Giant. So again, getting back to Gum Gum Giant, the fact that there's not really a downside, it's just cycling your hand and essentially making you like a 10k leader for like 1 swing. Yeah, it is a little bit crazy. So if you limit it to 1, it means your opponent still has to account for this if they're going for game on a lethal turn, right? But you won't be able to just do this every single turn and get out of multiple swings because you're getting out of any 9k for, right, pretty much for free, right? You're trashing a card, but it's getting replaced. And the Don is going to be coming back with like 8 cost Katakuri or just your following turn, right? And then you're also replacing it with 2 cards, so the likelihood you might draw into counter, again, with Luffy being able to stack his top 5, he'll know what he's drawing into with this if he's keeping track of things properly. So being able to draw into any counter cards he wants to means this can get you out of like 2 swings possibly in a turn with just its single effect, right? Your hand size isn't even going down. So it's harder to math out your opponent, right? Because their hand size remains the same. So with all of that saying, I think these are all more of a problem, these 3 cards, than Katakuri. I think without like Luffy, with Luffy being hit, Katakuri just is like a really good generic purple card, but it's not like game breaking. It's just the problem when you can cheat out 2 of these bodies with a Sanji. And I've thought about it. I don't think the secret sign, I don't think that this gets hit. Because I think the main issue always comes from what you're cheating out with it, right? Of course, just getting another 9/9 out is crazy, but I don't think this gets hit. I'd be very surprised. And again, right, isn't that the manga from, or is it a different Sanji from Pure Booster 2? In the same vein of like, that doesn't necessarily mean one way or the other if it's getting banned or not. I don't think it does because I think these are more of a problem. I think like with what the leader ability is, like all of these are more of an issue. Like being able to heals while stacking what's in your life is, I think, too crazy. I think this card doesn't even need to get banned, but if they want to keep the leader, they'd probably just ban Big Mom or Limit Gum Gum Giant. If they don't do anything with these, then maybe one of these gets hit, but I don't think that the Katakuri blocker is the main issue. Now getting to my own personal bias, and something I keep seeing people talk about, Hodi. I don't think that Hodi's getting banned. We have the new event, right? I don't even know the name of it. Yeah, here we are. No. Yes, this. Okay. The Namak Aura 9 Sword Style. Ashura, Dead Man's Game. Rest 3 of your Dawn. Rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn. So essentially Hodi for, right? So this was the only thing that put in my mind, like, oh, maybe they banned Hodi because they gave us this replacement already, but it's not really. And in a lot of cases, I'd rather have the character to swing with, right? I'd rather have Hodi to swing with. Right, Hodi is a card that's already been in the game for a while. People play around it. People leave up extra Dawn, or they make sure they have two blockers and Dawn, so you have to choose, right? That makes your opponent have to really think about what you've got when they're going for lethal. And for a lot of decks, this isn't something they search. It's something that's like a Hail Mary almost. You have to have it to go for game. A lot of times people say like, hey, if you got Hodi, you know, you got Hodi. But a lot of times, this is just a problem because people are playing things like Green Purple Luffy, right? They're leaving a Dawn open for Gum Gum Giant and having like Katakuri blockers out, but they can't leave up multiple Dawn in a lot of builds because they're playing out a 9 cost and they only have this. But that's why people ran like the Rosinante that like restants more Dawn, stuff like that. So yeah, I can see why Blue Purple Luffy players were mad at Hodi because you'd rest a blocker and a Dawn. Like, I've won a lot of games against this deck because of Hodi. But again, I just don't think that this needs to get... Like, this is like... Even though Bonnie is pretty strong right now, and it's like, that's our green leader, I don't think that Hodi is the I don't think green is so strong that we need to hit something in it like Hodi. And yeah, that's 100% bias. That's 100% a biased take because I play green. So like, you can disagree with me all you like, but that's, you know, I feel like Hodi's like our only good card besides like Captain Kid, but like that's a whole other card we'll get into. So if they did hit Hodi, I would say like limited copies, because just outright banning it doesn't feel great. I would say it's a possibility of any, because they have stuff like this and they can point to that and say like, oh, you have this other option, right? But green is rather strong with Zoro. So going into set 12, we have to consider all of that, right? That was my personal bias talking like set 11 stuff, right, against this. But with Zoro, I have seen more and more builds using Hodi as a 4-of in more recent tournaments. So is there anything else in green that can get hit? I don't know. So possibly a limiter ban on Hodi, but I doubt it and I don't want it, okay? As a Yamato player, let me keep my Hodi. It's like a if you got it, you got it type deal, and I don't think we need to ban off of that. There is, right, like there's the downside of Hodi, but it's not really like a downside in a lot of cases. You have to take a life card, so it leaves you very much in an opportunity of if your opponent can get out of this lethal attempt, they can probably come back and win, right? So there's that downside. However, if you're properly playing your match and you've calculated, okay, if I Hodi, there's no chance they can get out of this, unless one of the last life is like a 0-cost event or a veggie if you're playing against yellow, right? Then there's not really a downside, you know, if you've properly calculated your lethal turn. So yes, Hodi can be quite annoying. You do get a lot of value because he can rest any value of character, right? Like any, like a 10 cost, he can rest. I don't know. I really hope that he doesn't get hit, because I don't think that is even like the problem with Zoro. But again, I don't really have a better option for it. So maybe they limit it and or ban it just to push people towards this event, like newer cards, right? But he's also going to be rotating out. Not for a while though. Not for a while. Not for a good long while. We do have to consider, because of like the heightened release schedule, like set 13 is going to be here before we know it either, right? And stuff like Roger is coming out. So like, that also kind of factors into why I think they might just ban the Luffy leader. Getting back to that, because a lot of Roger stuff isn't like leader locked. It's like your leader has to have like a Don attached, which anyone can technically do with some of it, and some of it's just not even, like, just very generic, right? So again, I don't think they'll ban Hodi, but it's a possibility. For like just saying a green card could get hit, I don't want it to. They could just ban it for the sake of it. Again, there's like a replacement, but I think I've seen more people in Zoro just running Hodi instead recently. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking it might just be a 2-card ban list. I don't know. We could see like a 2-card ban, 1 restricted, and I'd say maybe it's Gum Gum Giant. And yeah, I'm gonna probably just leave up Hodi there as just like a placeholder for whatever strong green card you can think of. Maybe Hodi gets hit, but I don't think so. Like now that I'm looking at like green from set, like it's like Tashigi and Mihawk. Either they hit Hodi or like one of the newer green pieces that just affects Zoro. I don't know if they'd hit like any of these though. Like green's protection against removal, does that make it too strong? Like I always said, because I've been playing green for a while, that this Tashigi was what green needed. I don't think it's going to get banned. I mean, Mihawk is a little crazy, right? It's got really great value, allowing you to essentially pay out like a 5 cost on like your 10 Don turn again. So you can like combo that with like a Tashigi, something like that. Makes Zoro very strong. I doubt they hit one of the new cards. Again, this also depends on when the ban list comes into effect for us. It could be a simultaneous ban list, right? They've done that in the past. It could also be one where it happens over in the East, and then over here for us, we get it like a few months down the line, essentially when our set 12 is like coming to an end, right? Something in preparation for set 13. So again, I don't think that Hodi's getting banned, but this is kind of just like a placeholder. It could just be a 2-card ban, which is now what I'm kind of thinking, because there's a lot of possibilities, but I severely doubt it for like a 4-card ban list. And for 3, it feels like I'm even stretching to like put Hodi up there. But again, like maybe just swapping something out here. I don't think so for one of the new cards. Like there's also just a lot of possibilities, right? Like I think the Luffy leader, I don't know if set 13 stuff is here, right? The Luffy leader is already getting a lot of new things. Is there set 13? Oh, he does have it. Oh yeah, okay. So this Luffy leader, Supernova, and like has a lot of potential with restanding Dawn. So like maybe Cavendish. Again, this is getting reprinted in set 12. So not in set 12, in Premium Booster 2, right? So that'd be so absolutely hilarious in like a bad way if this card was so desperately needed for so long for a reprint, they reprint it and then they ban it. I feel like this wouldn't get hit, but like also thinking ahead for set 13, right? Because this is when this is going to be coming into effect for the most part. Unless it's a simultaneous, so our set 12 will be different, right? This Luffy might maybe thinking for some green stuff. Who knows? Something like Cavendish, maybe. But yeah, I think if any green card did get hit, it probably just would be Hodi. I think it's just like the easiest answer for them, even though I really don't think it should be. I think they'll probably just outright ban one of these. Maybe a limit on Gum Gum. If they don't ban the Luffy leader, I think we're going to see Linlin get hit and then maybe a limit on Gum Gum Giant. but I kind of doubt it. Like, again, if this gets hit, I think we can count out either of these possibly. So it might just be like these two cards. I guess I'll put them together since, you know, if this gets hit, this doesn't, vice versa, in my opinion. Also, I've seen like a lot of people talking about with like the ace and like just how crazy this gets, right? This is just like that punishment for your opponent taking too many hits or getting too big of a hand size, which I don't know. I think a lot of people have, myself included, like lost matches just because your opponent played this card. I think anything else besides this is just getting like too specific and niche into things that I want to get banned. The thing is though, none of this really hits Green Purple Luffy. I think, has this card, it is searchable in Straw Hat, so it could be being used in Green Purple Luffy, so possibly, right? Maybe. Again, I can also move that down there. Unlikely, but could be just for Green Purple Luffy if they wanted to hit something across the board, because Green Purple Luffy's not using Hodi. He's still a very strong deck. If they do limit Gum Gum Giant, that would also hit it, right? That would also hit it. So yeah, going back and forth in it, but yeah, if they limit Gum Gum Giant, that kind of solves both Luffy problems. With also the likelihood of this just getting banned or like this, right? I don't know. I think past this though, everything else is just like high speculation or high unlikelihood. I think we're just going to see like a 2 to 3 card ban list at this point after thinking about it more. Because if you hit some key pieces like these at the top, in my opinion, it kind of evens out other stuff, and it leaves room for more competition. But also, like, what is getting gate kept by Luffy that would also solve like Zoro necessarily? So maybe they do hit green just so that Zoro doesn't run rampant, and if they hit green, they're probably gonna just hit Hodi, because it seems like in terms of like the community's voice, I think most people when they talk about green, they talk about Hodi. Because also, I know Captain Kidd is like an annoying card, but I don't think this is the concern with green in set 12. Zoro's not running this. This is not what he's doing. He's like, his A card is the Mihawk. So I doubt that they hit this or this. Unlikely. I'd just say this is probably just not getting banned out, and then this is just like unlikely. I think if you want to like make Zoro evened out, maybe you hit one of the new stuff. Cavendish just feels like that ain't getting hit. It's very strong, but like, no. New card probably not getting hit. I'd highly doubt it. I think it might just be Hodi, which makes me very sad as a Yamato player. It makes me very, very, very sad. So I'd likely see, to recap, because I don't want to just ramble forever, and like I said, I think anything past this is just very unlikely. Maybe I'm missing something. Ban it. Just ban it. No, unlikely. Unlikely. I just, now we're getting into my personal biases. Again, he is a Yamato player. My forecasts, my poor forecasts. I do think that Buggy got way too much support. Not way too much support, like just so much support. It's crazy. Now I'm going off on tangents. Yeah, so recapping, I think we'll see something hit with blue purple. Obviously, that's not, out there. I think it'll be one of these three, right? If they ban the leader, they probably won't ban Big Mom, but they might limit Gum Gum Giant for like other Luffy leaders, right? To kind of even out the playing field. They also might just hit Hodi. I don't want them to, and I'm very sad if they do, but yeah, those are just my thoughts. Again, I'm not claiming to be the best analyst or like have the best opinions. Again, if you're someone who just skipped to the end to see what the list looked like, This Karasu is just to take the place of anything in Bello Betty. I don't think Bello Betty gets hit at all, because if this comes out of the meta as strongly, then Bello Betty can't rely on just like getting matched up into this and having a good time. Hodi, I hope it doesn't get hit. I don't think it should, but if they do ban anything from green, I think this is just the easiest answer. Big Mom, if they don't hit Luffy, they'll hit Big Mom, I think, and they'll probably just limit Gum Gum to 1. Again, if they leave the Luffy leader alone and then just hit pieces of it, they'll probably limit Gum Gum. I doubt they ban it, but it could get a treatment like Gecko Warrior or Ice Age, where like, hey, that manga event, that's just for collection now. That's just going to be in collection. It's a beautiful event, so yeah, it'd still be a very nice piece for it, but all these, I don't think will get hit. An unlikely A-cost kid or Shubagi's just because I don't like this card. Because I don't like my 3 and 4s not be able to attack. I don't know. This actually would be a really big problem for Rayleigh, right? This actually would just be a horrible time for Rayleigh. Like, imagine. So maybe they think that Buggy got too much support and he doesn't need it anymore. I don't know. No, okay, so in seriousness, and again, and not my opinion doesn't really matter that much. I could see any of these getting hit. I think we're probably only going to see like 2 to 3 getting hit. I don't know if anything is going to come off the ban list. I'd be interested to see it. I'd be surprised to see it. Let me know down in the comments what you think is going to get hit. If anything's going to come off, let me know. But either way, hope y'all enjoyed my ramblings about cards and meta and stuff and my own personal bias, because this is obviously my personal take. Let me know down in the comments what you think will get hit, what won't get hit. If anything comes off, let me know down in the comments. Am I stupid because my, list? Let me know down there as well. That's all fine and dandy. Hope y'all enjoyed. We'll be back to our not so serious deck profiles tomorrow. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.